Hey guys, Adrian Racing here, back today with another video. So I was sitting there the other day thinking about cars and watching car content on YouTube, basically how I spend all my spare time. And it kind of come across to me that modern supercars are really, really fast. And it got me thinking, could a modern supercar ever be quicker than a race car, and more specifically, a Formula One car? Now, of course, the quick answer to this question is no. A Formula One car, a modern Formula One car, is absolutely on rails, doing probably triple, if not quad, the apex speeds of some modern supercars. And I sort of dismissed this idea. But then I thought a bit more. And then I came up with a little experiment that I've been wanting to try out in Assetto Corsa for a little while now. Could a modern supercar ever be quicker than a historic Formula One car? And just how far back in time would you have to go to find a Formula One car that's slower than a modern hypercar? So I've done a little bit of testing and found the quickest road legal car that I can find in Assetto Corsa, which I found to be the McLaren P1. Of course, almost 1,000 horsepower, lots of downforce, lots of grip, and I want to put it up against some historic Formula One cars in a little bit of an experiment. So, of course, with any scientific experiment, you've got your hypothesis, you've got your experiment, you also need a prediction, and I want you guys at home to play along as well. Which year do you think the F1 cars are going to cross over into beating the modern supercars? So I think that the mid-80s is going to be the point at the crossover. But without further ado, there's only one way to find out, and that's to head onto track to test this out. So I'm going to go and set a control lap in the McLaren P1, and I will see you all on the track. So, our lap done. Let's go for a flying lap here at Spa. Let's make sure we get a nice exit out of the bus stop chicane. And away we go for our flying lap. Now we've got the traction control set quite low to allow a little bit of slip, but not enough to spin. Of course, ABS on, so braking hard into La Source. Oh, just try and hug the apex. There we go, and then back on the power as soon as possible as we plant the throttle. Of course, this car being hybrid, we have some electricity deployment to use. That is the red bar on the dashboard. Now, Eau Rouge flat in a Formula One car. Definitely not flat in this. You're just seeing the amount this car understeers as we head over the crest. And now, DRS, well, this car does have DRS, so we're going to manually open it. You can see in the rear view mirror there, the wing just lowering down, lowering the drag. And now, pick our braking point for La Source. That's very late. That's very late. That's very late. Oh, just about make it stop. Brakes absolutely nowhere near any modern race car. Oh, these are some bad apexes I'm hitting here. Come on, car. Come on, work with me here. So, down into the hairpin at Bruxelles. Just hug the inside. You can hear the tyres hanging on for dear life, screaming away there. Through no name, car twitching all around, all way nervous at the back. And now for the run down to Pouhon, probably the scariest corner on the circuit, scarier than Eau Rouge in my opinion. Down to fourth, just turn it in nice and early. Don't even touch the throttle. Oh, just wanting to plow to the outside here. Can't even get flat, can't get flat, can't get flat. Now we're flat. And immediately back on the brakes for the Fagnes chicane again. Third gear, just roll it through. Try and use the curbs. You can use them in this car. This is a road car after all. It's not scraping along the ground like a modern race car is. Now, Stavlo 1, just turn it in nice and early. Use the curb, use the exit. Fourth gear, Stavlo 2 again, flat in a modern Formula 1 car. Definitely not flat in this. And now we can unleash all 950 ponies behind us. Oh, up to Blanchimont having to lift there. God, these cars just don't have the bite of a race car. Stavlo is a tricky corner. Sorry, Blanchimont even. And now for the braking point down into the final chicane, down to second gear. Now it's a bit early on the brakes there, but better early than late. And now just plant the throttle out the final corner. And the run to the line. And what's it going to be? A 2:24.357. That's the lap time we've got to set. So we could probably knock half a second off from bad driving there. So anything sub 2:24 is when we know we've beat it. So let's head to our selection of Formula 1 cars, and it's a pretty cool one for the first one out. So this is the first Formula 1 car we're going to be taking on against the P1. This is the Lotus Type 49 from 1966. Of course, raced by the legendary Jim Clark and designed by the world's cleverest man, Colin Chapman. This was the first Formula One car ever to use the engine as a stress-bearing member of the chassis. Of course, powered by that glorious DFV Cosworth V8, coupled with the Lotus ethic of pure weight saving in the aid of performance. This thing should be pretty good fun to drive, but can it beat P1? So once again, single out lap, single flying lap, 2:24 to beat. Let's see what we can do. All right, out lap completed. Let's go for our flying lap here at Spa. Ignore the extra lap. I didn't have a small spinala. So down to La Source for the first time. Or a bit slow into there, but safe nonetheless. And we get a decent exit. All right, come on now, down the hill. For the run to Eau Rouge, the corner looks a lot more scarier. In a bathtub filled with petrol, basically a bomb on wheels. Just edging the throttle through here. Don't touch it. Don't touch the throttle. And now plant it. Now plant it. A Hall car wants to go. Don't let it, though. And now up the back straight we go. Up the Kemmel straight. Now we can unleash the DFE Cosworth engine. Just powering our way along. Car feels so quick and very early on the brakes. Oh, bit of a lock up. Still managed to get the car slowed down for Lecom somehow, even with that. All four wheels locked up. Come on, just a bit of the brake through there. And then now get on the throttle. You got to always keep a slip angle in these old historic cars. It's so much fun to drive. They do work you up a sweat. And I've only done, well, 2 half-out laps and half a flying lap so far. Now to No Name again. Just ease it through on the brakes. Turn it in, turn it in. And now plant the throttle. And now Puon once again. Even more scary again in this car. Down to 3rd gear. Car just wants to understeer to the outside. You can't let it, though. You got to match the understeer with a boot full of right foot. But not too much right foot. Otherwise, you'll repeat those tyre marks there, which definitely wasn't me. And now Fania chicane down to 2nd gear. Oh, overshot the braking zone a bit. That's going to cost us a little bit of time, but the McLaren lap was scrappy. This one can be scrappy too. Oh, having to snap that back into shape. Down to 2nd gear for Stavlo 1. Our car dancing around all over the place. Tyres not wanting to grip up. These 60s tyres are what's going to cost us a lot of time. And now we can get back on the throttle once again. Up the gears, 4th gear. Rev out to 9,000, 5th gear. Having to lift slightly for this left-hand kink. Before down to 4th gear for Blanchimont. Just turn it in, turn it in, turn it in. Back on the power once again. Rear gets so light when you want to stab the power. Down to 1st gear for the final chicane. That was a bit slow, but we make it through nonetheless. Oh, we nearly made it. Nearly didn't make it through. Now the final corner, big old slide and power to the line. 225 to beat. We're not going to beat it. A 233.3. So 9 seconds slower than the P1. Oh. But, oh, that's a fun car to drive. Oh, next up, heading into the 70s. So next up to try and beat the P1, we have this. This is Niki Lauda's 1975 championship winning Ferrari 312. Now, the things that I think are going to give it a good shot. Big slick tyres. Some rudimentary aero. In other words, a big T-tray on the back and a big T-tray on the front. And about 600 and about 550 horsepower. So a little bit more than the Lotus. But we've got about 10 seconds to find compared to the 49 that we've just driven. So once again, out lap, hot lap. I'll see you for the hot lap. Alrighty, hot lap. This car feels a lot better than the Lotus did to drive, but it's going to lose time to the P1 on the straights with about half the power. But brakes that actually work, though. That's a nice change as we head down to La Source and actual traction on the throttle. Well, welcome change right down to Eau Rouge we go for the first time. Again, nowhere near flat yet. Still going to be a big brake as we head in. And then just wait for the throttle, wait for the grip. There we go. Now we can get back on the throttle. Bogging down a bit. Maybe could have gone to 3rd gear there, but didn't fancy it. And now unleash that glorious sounding V12 behind us. Oh, that thing just sings. And now we can push our braking zone a little bit further back for Lecom, but still nowhere near the curb. Oh, Carl wanted to swap ends on me there. Don't do it, Ferrari. I know you're a Ferrari. I know this thing was a shitbox, as Niki Lauda coined it in the film Rush. What a film that is. And now down to the hairpin at Bruxelles. Just dragging the brake in there down to first gear. Just to try and get the torque on the exit. This thing, V12, very torquey, but you need some revs as well. Oh, I love these historic F1 cars. And now Pouon. Still a challenge, but a bit easier now. More understeer than anything else you have to contend with going through there. Once again, flat on the exit. Oh, I shouldn't have opened up the steering there. Lost a little bit of time. And again, straight away on the brakes. Down to second gear. Just hug the inside. Maybe not too much inside. Oh, bit eager on the throttle there. Got a bit right foot happy. Come on, Stavlo 1. Let's get this right. Let's get a good exit out of here into Stavlo 2. Oh, big lift. This car feels heavier. You can feel the weight. Although still in the, well, sub 500 kilo category. Nothing compared to almost 400 kilograms that Lotus weighed. And then flat through there. And then just a small blend of the brake and the throttle. So again, 224 to beat. We've got 15 seconds to get to the line. This is going to be tight, actually. Are we going to beat it already? Come on, into La Source. Oh. Are we going to beat it already? I don't think we are. It's going to be tight. We've already got close to 225.6. That's closer than I thought it was going to be, you know? I thought it would take until the 80s to be able to get even close to that P1. But the slick tires and the rudimentary downforce... Oh, okay. So this car came out, what, 1975. The P1, 2015. 40 years to get almost close on a road car to an F1 car, the quickest car ever at the time. But we haven't beaten it yet. And I think it's going to tie... I think it's time for good old Colin Chapman to rear his head again. Let's head out to get our next F1 car. So here is the next car to take on the P1. This is the RSS Formula 79, or what is essentially the Lotus 79. Ground effect, a bit more power than the Ferrari, grippier tyres. I reckon this should beat it. My prediction of having to wait till the mid-80s is a little bit off, but this should be the one that manages to upset the P1. So, once again, flying lap, outlap flying lap. I'll see you for the flying lap. All right, if that outlap is anything to go by, we're going to absolutely smash this McLaren. So, one last flying lap. Let's see what we can do here. 224, that's the time to beat. Heel turning down to first gear into La Source. Got so much more confidence on the brakes now. Can just absolutely slam the pedal. No hint of a lockup. The downforce on this thing is crazy for the time. And now up to Eau Rouge. Sorry, I should say down to Eau Rouge because... And then straight up and it's flat. Keeping it pinned. I'm keeping it pinned. That was easy. That was easily flat. The car from 1979. Okay. And now is when we're going to be losing time compared to that McLaren. It hasn't got the top speed to match it. But we can brake so much later down into Les Combes. Got to watch the curbs. The ground effects on this car can get a bit unsettled very easily if you brake that area of low pressure under the car. Of course, the skirts, or would-be skirts, if ground effect was actually modelled in Assetto Corsa, but RSS have done an amazing job to make it feel like that anyway. So, our car is twitchy as hell through there. Once you get it up to speed, it's all right, but on the lower speed, on the mid-speed, it just doesn't quite have that downforce, and then you're reminded it's a car from the 1970s. But when you're in fourth gear, I mean, Pouon, easy flat on exit. I am just cruising through there. And now, again, hard on the brakes, down into the Fagnes chicane. Oh, a bit slow through there on entry. Just a dab of the brakes. Car's still sliding, still trying to get loose. This car weighs absolutely nothing. Again, Colin Chapman's absolute just ethic for weight saving, as light as possible. All of his cars. Of course, that led to a few big accidents and unfortunately a few deaths, but These cars were absolute monsters when it came to lap times and downforce and grip and all that. Blanchimont, can we take Blanchimont flat? Easily flat. Easily flat, even with a massive hit over the curb. Now just one more big braking zone to go. Down the gears. Oh, we can send that in so much harder if we wanted to, but... Oh no, we've got a big old twitch on through the final chicane. That's going to lose us a few seconds. But we're still going to absolutely smash that P1. 6 seconds. Ooh. Well, there we are, guys. That's the answer. Can a McLaren P1, a modern supercar, be quicker than a Formula 1 car? The answer is yes. But only up until the mid-70s. As soon as ground effect, as soon as modern downforce came into effect, F1 cars just suddenly snapped and knocked seconds a lap off their lap times. And driving this just goes to show that while modern supercars might have insane grip for a road car, they will still be nothing compared to a race car, and specifically a Formula 1 car. That's why they make race versions out of road cars. But I think this is a fun little experiment just to try out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed learning as much as I did. If you have enjoyed this video, then I'd really appreciate if you did hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and follow me on Twitch to see when I go live for various other sim racing titles, mainly iRacing at the moment. But also let me say thank you very, very much for watching. And yeah, go drive some of these historic F1 cars. They're bloody cool. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys.